Previously on
But I mean, have we really given kudos to Jacques Callis the way we should have in this country? And if we better do so if it's not too late.
Or this man either.
He's had his kudos. I don't know if we've given John Smit enough kudos in South Africa for what he's done for our rugby, but he's certainly still active and playing and doing his business for Saris. How's it going, Jono?
Hello, Dan. How you going, buddy?
Good and you?
Very good.
Yeah, it's good. Nice to see you on Skype and not driving while you're doing it.
I'm actually here. I've got my dog escaping out of the driveway, out of the garden. I've just got back from training, so it's been a long day.
Okay, we won't keep you too long, but is that your local dog that you've taken over there, or is that your British sport dog?
No, this is a beagle from Britain. So
Called?
Yeah, she's joined our family since we've got here.
Called?
Her name is Josie.
Josie. Now, when you finish your contract up there, what's the story then? Does Josie come back here with you?
She does, yeah, but she's picked up weight, so she might have to jog back. A lot of people would say the same thing about me.
No one was going to say that.
Quarantine you, mate.
No one was going to say that.
Jog back together.
How's it going there?
Very good, but yeah, we've actually got some rare sunshine and blue skies for October, so I'm not going to jinx it just yet, but so far the winter's held back longer than normal.
Well, you're not missing anything because Durban, it is still miserable. It's been horrible for a week now. So
I normally take, when I want to get really depressed, I go into my weather app and I look at a 7-day forecast, and Durban gives me sort of 30-degree average of sunshine. Now it's the other way around. I've got the sunshine and Durban's got the rain. So I'm not complaining. And I suppose until I move back to Durban.
Yeah, I think Al Gore might have had a point or two when he was talking about global warming. Who knows? All right, just very quickly while we got you, Bonds, the Spring of the Castle Championship over, and I think a few people were a little bit taken aback by the final result in the game against the All Blacks. But the general thread of the guys that we've spoken to, and these are guys that have obviously been there coaching and playing within the setup, have gone, listen, there's stuff to work with the side, stick behind them, and they will go places. In a year's time, it'll be a different story.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, without sounding too sort of defeatist, I think there's a lot that can be taken out of that championship. I mean, we've come third, but we've got, we've in a year where we've lost a huge amount of experience, a huge amount of caps, got a new coach. I think Heineken has also needed at least a season to see who he's got and who he wants to work with, and who he doesn't want to work with, which players will fit into his plan. And, I've seen massive progress from a week-to-week basis in the Springboks and how they play, and certainly how they're adapting to Heineken and vice versa. So in a year also, where there's been a lot of injuries to some senior players as well, so no Bismarck, no JP, no Pierce Spies, and the list goes on and on. So, no Frans Steyn for the last two tests. To be fair, optimistically, I think South Africa can only go one way, and that's get better. I think the All Blacks as well, we need to tip our hat. They are an incredibly good side at the moment. I think they are comfortably the best side in the world. I can't see them losing in the next season and a half at least. But from there, they're going to lose players. I mean, they're going to have to find someone after Dan Carter, after Richie. They've got two hookers that are my age, so also very young.
Yes. So they'll be going to series after you, right?
But yeah, they got my locker in about a year's time. So they're going to have their issues in a season and a half time, but at the moment they are the team to beat. And I think the good news is that we came close in Dunedin. We should have won that game. And we also could have done it in Soweto. We had massive pressure in the first half, missed one or two kicks. All of a sudden that pressure doesn't get followed through on, so that keeps them in the game. But you've got to tip your hat. I mean, for 60 minutes, South Africa put massive pressure on them, and they just absorbed it, and fair play. They are a good team, and they are number one in the world for a reason.
Yeah. I've got a couple more before we let you go. I heard your microwave go off, so I think dinner's ready. First of all, Richie McCaw in cotton wool. That's what they're doing now. We're kind of familiar with that because I think John Smith's sort of last 4 years, they also spoke about getting in cotton wool and sort of managing your progress to the next World Cup. So you've been there, done that. Do you think he'll make another World Cup, and do you think it's a wise thing for them to do? And once again, I think a lot of it's also about, similar to you, also about just his presence in that side and the fact that he's been there for so long.
Yeah, you've got to as irritating as he is for any South African or other player in the world, because he's so good, that's part of why people have to respect him. I mean, I think this weekend was his 100th Test win, so he's got a 90% win ratio in that All Black team. You know, I think it's fair to say he'll probably go down as the greatest All Black of time, really, and he hasn't stopped playing it. So whether he'll make another World Cup is a tricky one. You know, I think this 6-month sabbatical, which was given to Nonu and was given to Dan Carter, and they went and, you know, played in Japan and France, each of them. But Richie's actually going to take the 6 months off, and I think that's pretty clever as well. You know, we look at, let's take PSPs for example. The guy's been playing non-stop rugby at the highest level for what, 4-5 seasons? May Steyn, 6 years non-stop at the highest level as well. So the only thing that can stop guys or give guys a break these days is an injury. So now it's a case of Pierce-Spiss's finger injury is like a blessing in disguise, you know. So I think it's an excellent idea, and I think it's forward-thinking from New Zealand Rugby. And if it is a chance, it gives him a chance to be at the next World Cup, that would be genius, you know. So he'll be 34 at the next World Cup, and if he can be what he is now at 34 with a 6-month gap, then New Zealand will say it was good planning.
Yeah. Do you think it was maybe a bit too early to give Pat Lambie a 6-month sabbatical as well? Sorry, I just thought I'd throw that in there. The other one, Richie McCaw's book has come out, and I mean he's one of the things I found interesting, his read on Bryce Lawrence. He said that he froze.
He reckons that Wayne Barnes.
No, Wayne Barnes.
And Bryce Lawrence he said he definitely froze, freezes and forgets to blow his whistle.
He forgot to blow his whistle in that quarter final. Did you ever see it that way?
I've used many terms in the private sector. Frozen is not one of them, Darren.
It's another F word.
Brilliant. Yeah. All right, Bonnie. Well, listen, thanks for taking some time out after a long day today and practice to have a chat. It was always nice catching up with you. Look after yourself there.
Thank you very much, John.
Cheers, buddy. You too, man. Bye-bye.
Bye.
John Smit. Wrapping it up for Ballz Radio this afternoon.
2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mondays to Fridays live on Ballz.co.za. Ballz.co.za.